like growing up, I always kind of wanted to be like a little whitewashed and like kind of shy away from any like Korean culture, any Asian culture I had. Um, but then like kind of going into college, I feel like a lot of that changed. Kind of living on my own, seeing like so many different cultures here. My name is Brian. I'm a fourth year student, and I've lived in San Diego my whole life, including ECSD. I kind of just want to talk about how like growing up um, as like a first generation uh, Asian American. Um, Both of my parents were born in Korea. A lot of like Korean cultural things were like put on me when I was younger, and I feel like for someone who is ethnic, and there are a lot of people like that, like the differences between like society and like how like it's kind of pertains to like white culture and like um, kind of appealing to white culture versus like your own culture. I feel like it was kind of hard for me when I was younger. Just like embracing my own culture, embracing who I am, and like not trying to fit stigmas and stuff. And like I think a lot of that was due to like me growing up in a white neighborhood and like I said, like playing baseball, very like predominantly white sport. I was usually like the only Asian person on my team. Um, so I think it was a little hard, just kind of balancing that. I feel like growing up I always kind of wanted to be like a little whitewashed and like kind of shy away from any like Korean culture, any Asian culture I had. But then like kind of going into college, I feel like a lot of that changed. Kind of living on my own, seeing like so many different cultures here, seeing how like everyone kind of embraces themselves here and no one really has like these like stigmas that they kind of have to fit in here, which really helped me. I would say like literally like the instant I moved to college. I would say like I was getting a little bit better at it, but honestly like throughout high school, like I don't know how other like high schools were. I feel like mine was a little bit like hierarchical in terms of like if you're Asian, if you're ethnic or you're like not white, like you're kind of already at like this lower tier at my high school, which is like I don't know my viewpoint of it. Um, it's like I was always trying to like kind of appeal to those people, and like I didn't feel like proud of being Asian or proud of being ethnic. But then when I moved into college, like obviously like there were so many Asian people and ethnic people, and I was like I felt super. I was getting like made fun of by my friends for like being whitewashed, and I was like, and like they were like proud of being who they were, and like I could kind of just see other people um, represent their culture and be like proud of who they are, and like I kind of didn't need to like put on this like mask of being like appealing to anyone else, kind of just like appealing to who I am and like finding my own identity and finding things that I actually enjoy, finding things in my culture that I actually enjoy. I've lived here my whole life. I'm not I'm not the most cultured person. I've never even been to Korea. I don't really speak Korean, but I think now growing up um, in college, like I feel like I can now say like I'm fully proud of like being who I am, being an Asian American, and like being Korean American, and having like certain aspects of both cultures in my life. I feel like this is a lot of the stuff I learned. Like I took an Asian American culture class last quarter, where like a lot of students in our class kind of talked about the same experiences that they had, like me, and I realized like this was all kind of the same for almost all these like first generation and just ethnic kids in general, and like everyone kind of shares these experiences growing up in like middle school and high school, and like, I feel like going to college is like a really big step for them, just because like I feel like in college like there's not like any like hierarchical like position. There's so many kids here, like there's no popular kids, there's no like one norm you kind of have to fit. You kind of just be yourself and just like go in your own lane. I feel like growing up, like trying to fit standards of like other things that like you don't really feel comfortable in. It's like you don't really like. I wasn't going through like identity crises, but like it was kind of a balance between like, do I actually enjoy certain things, or was I just doing it because I thought it was popular? And I think like as you grow up and you like live on your own, you kind of realize like who you kind of like want to be around, what kind of things you like to do in life, um, rather than just appealing for other people. And I think growing up, there was a lot of harder things to do rather than like the transition. I feel like the transition was smooth because I finally felt like free. But like growing up, obviously things were hard. Like I think a lot of ethnic kids have trouble like bringing their lunches to school, getting like the judgment from other kids, like speaking different languages in front of other people. I think is tough for other kids. I don't know, kind of just having differences in lives, like where like your parents are clearly ethnic or like you're not from America. Everything's usually like pretty hard. Just like the little things, I feel like. I would say like for me, like I've learned that like appealing to other people like really has no benefit on yourself. Like it might make you happier just that you think that other people are see you in a better light, but like really it doesn't matter until you make like yourself happy and you kind of appeal to yourself. Like you got to make yourself happy before you try to make anyone else happy, and really like embrace your own identity because like you're unique. Like you have your own culture, even if especially if you're ethnic, you have two separate cultures that you can kind of embrace and like merge them together. Not that many people have that opportunity, and like having culture is like you should be so proud of it because like culture is amazing, especially just like outside of just American culture. There's so many different cultures out there, so like really embrace who you are. Yeah. I feel like for someone like me, they're like a little bit merged, just because like my Korean identity isn't like as strong as I want it to be, because like I never like grew up in Korea. I didn't like grow up like really speaking it. Like obviously like my parents speak it to me, and I have certain parts of my life that like are very Korean oriented. But at this point, like I identify like especially as an Asian American and how they are merged together. Cause I think being an Asian American like entails a lot of things. Growing up here, and I like to like merge them together to like I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like I think they are like merged together because like a lot of the aspects do align together, and like I don't see myself as like an American sometimes and like a Korean sometimes. I feel like as like myself as like a Korean American with like my own hobbies, my own identity. So I don't know if it's really like I think it's affected me in terms of like acceptance of who I am and like my own identity and like I guess my own happiness. Just like in my daily life of like embracing of who I am, which obviously can have like influence on every aspect of my life. But I wouldn't say it has like a direct impact on like how I do certain things. I'm kind of just like trying to live life to where like I fully embrace myself and like I'm proud of who I am, even though like growing up I might have not have been, and like it makes me happy knowing that like I've made the growth. My piece of advice is like it's cool to be different, and I think that people who are different are cooler to me than people who like fit a norm. And like embracing your own self, embracing your own identity, I think is cool.
Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and comment with your own thoughts and experiences. If you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe to our channel at Real Life Videos. Let's rehumanize.